Josh and Eugene. Hey, Josh, what's up?
Hey, Tom. You know, you spent a lot of time talking about intelligent design, religion this morning, and I want to make.
You're talking about the last hour, an hour ago,
yeah.
and we had the guy on from the Intelligent Design and Evolution Awareness Center, who's upset that Texas is not rewriting their textbooks fast enough.
Right, and I just want to make a bigger point about religion because religion consumes so much energy and resources in this country. I wanted to make a bigger point about religion. I'll try to make it quickly. But I believe that human beings, if they try to understand the world, try to figure out right from wrong, try to navigate through our lives using a science-based or evidence-based approach, that we give us ourselves the best odds for the best results. When you throw
I agree.
When you throw religious fantasy into the mix, when people start trying to figure out right from wrong and understand the world through sacred texts and unsupported ideas, I believe that you increase your odds for bad things happening. And I believe there's a very strong case to be made for that. Look at Scandinavia. The least religious democracies in the world have created the happiest and healthiest societies on earth, and you know that because you know Western Europe very well. When you look at America, the most religious Western democracy, we have the highest rates of poverty,
and
highest rates of violent crime. But the point, I don't want to. I'm not.
Well, let me just throw something in here about Western European religion. I learned this when we did our show from Denmark a year and a half ago. In Denmark, there is a tax that everyone pays that supports the churches. And it's a voluntary tax. You can choose not to pay it. Only about 10% of the people choose not to pay the tax, even though fewer than 15% of the people go to church.
Right.
Figure that one out.
I think Denmark has about. Well, I think because the church there is very different from churches here, and they're doing work that they like, so they're willing to give to it. But I think the rate in Denmark is about 24 or 25% of some people that believe in any sort of deity. They're the least religious democracy on earth, and it shows. But I'm not calling to make the point that you should use the evidence-based approach to understand the world. I want to bring up the point that we have a problem with discourse in the society, that when somebody like myself goes out and criticizes religion and makes the case that it is a destructive force, and people tell me, make accusations of bigotry and slander. In other words, in this country, in many other countries, we treat an ideology like biology, that's a real problem for democracy. And I want to make the case to progressives that if progressives would like to see America look more like Denmark and Sweden, that they should allow the debate to go on. And not even allow it to go on, but to spark the debate.
Josh, I don't disagree with you, and let Dinesh D'Souza and Bill Maher have at it. I mean, I've got no problem with that, or for that matter, me. My point is that evangelism. If you're getting back to my reference to evangelical atheists as being religious, is that evangelism is evangelism. On the other hand, your point that religious bigotry is religious bigotry, I absolutely agree with. And I think that when Christians trash atheists for being atheists, and then atheists fight back and trash Christians for being Christians, those are dueling religions, and it's all religious bigotry. I'm like live and let live. Let people decide whatever they want to decide. Let them live whatever they want, and don't come knocking on my door.
See, you're comparing apples and oranges.
No, I'm not.
In my opinion, when an atheist says we should try to understand the world through science.
No, that's not what an atheist says. That's what a scientist says.
No, that's what an atheist says. I'm an atheist, and a lot of
do you ponder every time you take a step whether your next footstep is going to hit the ground or not, and why? What is the force that holds together the molecules of the concrete that you're stepping on? What is? I mean, we don't do evidence-based. 99%, I would assert, of what we do in our life is based on faith, not religious faith, but just an assumption that things are the way they are for some reason that we have no idea about. You and I don't know why or how concrete congeals or how long it's going to last.
I don't understand a lot of stuff, Tom, but I don't think we should make it up either. And when you say when an atheist goes out and says, when you have to make the case, when you want to make the case for an evidence-based approach to understanding the world, you have to criticize fantasy-based approaches to understanding the world.
I agree.
And when you do that, what I'm saying is, when somebody comes out and says religion is a destructive force, it is to think that to make it, to follow the Bible, to follow the Quran, to try to live your life around this is a very bad idea. When people
wait a minute, you're making mutually contradictory statements. Religion is in and of itself may or may not be a destructive force depending on the nature of the religion. And following a particular religious text may or may not be the way that a person lives their life as a religious person. So, you're making these like blanket assertions and assumptions that if Christians had made them about atheists, you would accuse them of religious bigotry or anti-atheist bigotry.
Well, let me narrow my statement then. Okay. When speaking, technically, religion, there's a different religion for every religious person on earth, right? Because they have their own interpretation of whatever their religion is.
I don't disagree.
Okay?
Sure.
Well, when we speak about religion, I speak in general terms about the idea that you're going to believe that there's a creator and that creator has a book with all the answers in it and there's a heaven and a hell and a paradise.
Well, I think that there's probably a minority of people who believe that, even people who call themselves religious.
I think a lot of religious people, a lot of Christians subscribe to the idea that the Christian God is, the Bible is the word of.
I got to tell you, Josh. I've been through it, right? I mean, and hung out with a lot of really religious people over the years in a lot of contexts, and my take on it, and I may be wrong on this, but I don't think I am, is that most people who are showing up in church, and most people who are showing up in synagogue, and most people who are showing up in mosque, and in the Zen center. They're not doing it because they're expecting some Bronze Age god to write their name in the book of life, and someday they're going to have a golden harp and sit on a cloud. They're doing it because it makes them feel good.
You're right. Listen, there's a lot of things about religious traditions that make people feel good. Gathering together, doing these different.
That's right. It is community, and there's also the concept of transcendence. There's the many of these people have at some point in their lives had an experience which is beyond explanation, which may have some entirely rational explanation, like they're epileptic, but they've had an experience at some point in their life that convinces them that there is something bigger than their own consciousness that they are actually connected to and a part of. And they don't have a way to explain it. Religion offers an explanation. Pick your religion. They all offer an explanation. They all conflict with each other, but they all purport to explain that experience of transcendence. And so people are trying to retouch that experience of transcendence. And that's why they sit zazen for 6 hours a day. That's why they do the rosary for 20 minutes or a half hour or an hour at a shot. That's why they will, that's why they chant, sing in church. I mean, that's why people do these things.
I don't deny that a lot of people are carrying out these religions because doing the things that religions ask of them because it makes them feel good. I don't deny that at all. But so
why tell them that they can't or they shouldn't?
I'm not. The point that I'm making, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. You should have the right to pray, read whatever books you want. But what I'm saying is, I should have the right to go out and make the case in a democracy that trying to live your life around religious fantasy is a bad idea without getting told that I'm inappropriate.
Well, I think that maybe we're saying the same thing, Josh, because I'm saying don't knock on my door. Live your life however you want to live your life, but don't knock on my door and tell me how to live my life. But if you're going to come as an atheist to knock on my door and tell me how to live my life, then I got a problem with your religion.
Wait, what is politics, Tom? What do we do here every day? On your show, you tell people what you think are the best ideas to solve our problems. I think the best idea, is to solve our problems is trying to stick to the facts.
In politics, Josh, there's empirical evidence. You can look at what happened during the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s as a result of political decisions that were made. You can look at what happened in this country as in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s as a result of political decisions were made. There's empirical evidence. There isn't for religion. and there isn't for atheism. Either one. They're both belief systems, in my opinion. Josh, we're out of time. Great conversation. Thank you.